Hello, it's Monika from Crafting with Quilling Lady, and today I've got absolutely amazing collaboration with a friend of mine where we're going to use a free gift from Creative Stamping magazine issue 112 and create a dimensional card. I really hope you will enjoy today's tutorial, and I'm going to show you step by step how to create this card, and in the description down below I left the link to MONIKA'S PaperMona YouTube channel where you can see her project as well. As you can see, we're going to create beautiful card using Autumn Woodland stamp set collection from Creative Stamping magazine issue 112. It has lots of beautiful images and also sentiments. So as you can see, I'm going to use some stamps to create my project. So first I've got 300 GSM white card, and I'm going to use 4 distress oxide inks to create a blended background. But to be honest, you don't really have to be super perfect here. It doesn't really matter. We're going to stamp anyway on top. So you can create your background using any autumnal inks you've got in your stash, and I really encourage you to experiment with whatever you have, because this is always the best idea to see what you can create with your own supplies. As you can see, I'm not going to be perfect here. It doesn't really matter because later on we're going to spray our background with water. And the biggest trick with any ink blending, if you don't like it, go back with the lightest color on top, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. So as you can see, I finished all 4 colors. Now I'm going back with the orange and also that yellow, and all the names of the products I use in today's video you can check in the description down below if you're interested, and if you use any of my affiliate links, that really supports my channel, so thank you so much. And don't forget that my video and MONIKA'S is a collaboration, so we do encourage you to leave us a comment and also subscribe to our channels if you haven't already. So now I've got a smaller piece of 300 GSM white card, and again I'm going to create my background panel. And this one will be for the images I'm going to fussy cut later on to embellish the whole project. So if you want to create any dimensional project, I really encourage you to create your background first, and using the same colors, create a smaller panel which you can use for your stamped images. Super quick, easy, and to be honest, I absolutely enjoyed this project. I really like autumn and all those warm colors, so I just couldn't resist when I saw that stamp set collection called Autumn Woodland. And I do wonder, if you do have that magazine, have you created your project, or do you still need some more inspiration? As you can see, I'm using my spray bottle, and using my tissue I lift off some of the colors. But just to make sure that everything is ready for the next step, I'm going to heat set it with my heat tool. And it's always a good idea to heat set your paper from both sides, because when you use water, it does go through the paper, and before we assemble the whole project together, everything has to be dry completely. So when this is ready, now we can move on and create more elements for our project. And to do it, as you can see, I'm using some stamps and archival ink, and all the names of the products, if you're interested, you can check in the description down below. And this is super easy to create the background. Literally, you just repeat the same stamp, but rotate it a little bit for extra interest, and no one will ever know that you actually use one stamp. So I really like this technique, and in no time you can have beautiful elements. Now I'm going to stamp some of the leaves on the smaller background, and with the biggest one I wasn't really happy how it turned out, so I stamped it a few more times. So as you can see, now I'm going to fill in the spaces with the smaller leaves. And this is the trick: whenever you create any background or elements, use all those spaces in between, because no one will ever know, and it is a way to save some of that beautiful card you've got in your stash. And I wonder, have you seen my project with sunflowers from last year? If you haven't, the link is in the top right corner. So now I've got 3 pieces of white card, and using my black waterproof ink, I'm going to stamp 3 animals, and we actually going to create a photo frame. And if you want, you can actually cut your stamps apart make sure you don't cut on a line. So that's why I bent my stamp a little bit, and it was so much easier to cut it out. And now I'm going to use my zig markers to color in all those animals, and using that green and beautiful turquoise, I'm going to create, let's say, bouquet background, which is a little bit out of focus, but it will also give me some contrast, and that's exactly what I want to achieve here. And whenever you use any aqua markers or watercolor markers, it is a good idea to use a wet paintbrush to spread the colors around and actually blend them. So as you can see, I use my spray bottle and I put it a little bit of the water on my glass mat, and I'm with my wet paintbrush, I'm actually picking a little bit of water to spread the colors around. Super simple and quick. And I do wonder, do you like autumnal colors? Do you like that color palette? Or do you prefer cold colors, or cool colors, I should say? Please let me know in the comments down below. As you can see, those images come really quickly together, and my biggest tip is, if you want to create this project, use your scraps of card, because we want to save our beautiful card for more projects. So yes, you can use those leftovers from past projects, so yes, use them. So these here are slightly bigger than my element I'm going to create, and to be honest, you can use any square dice from your stash, or you can actually use a craft knife if you don't have square cutting dice. And literally, it is so easy to create those photo frames. So I'm going to have slightly bigger white panel, and this one was 5 by 6 centimeters. But before I do it, I need to heat set all my elements, because we use that water. So yes, everything has to be totally dry before we move on. And this is always a good tip whenever you use aqua markers or watercolor markers. So now, as you can see, I've got 3 panels ready, and using my square die, I'm going to put it exactly at the top, but I'm going to leave a little bit of space on the left and on the right. And in this case, you can actually decide how big your frame is going to be. I just wanted to have very narrow edges, that's how it looks like, and it will be ready to stick on my animal. Don't worry, it doesn't look perfect, but we're going to fix it, and I'm going to show you a trick how to do it. And it's always a good idea to use a little bit of low-tack tape, just to make sure the die doesn't move when you put it through a die cutting machine. And I do wonder, what is your favorite shape of your nesting dice? I really use those squares for so many different projects. Now I'm going to use my one and only liquid glue, magic glue, to adhere all those elements together. So as you can see, my colored panel, it is too big, but don't worry, we're going to use scissors to fix it. So it is the easiest way to actually create small photo frames, and if you haven't used that trick, I really hope you will do it, because you don't really need any special dies to do it. It is super simple. And in this case, I'm using my Crafter's Companion scissors, but to be honest, the longer the better, just to make sure we've got that straight line. And later on, I'm going to use longer scissors for something else, and I'm going to show you why. So as you can see, those frames come together really quickly, and I also wonder, what is your favorite animal? Because in this set, as you can see, we've got beautiful squirrel, robin, and also a fox. Now I'm going to use Tailored Frames, Floating Breeze from Tonic Studios, and I'm going to die cut it 4 times. As you can see, this die has beautiful element here which we can use, and also some measurement on the side. And this is very crucial, because that will help us to actually create and resize your project. So I have a think about how big my card is going to be, and I decided to have it, I think it was 16.5 centimeters. So using my longest scissors, I'm actually going to cut along the line. It is super simple. And to be honest, I created so many shadow boxes in my crafting life, or journey I should say, but this cutting die set, it was the easiest to use. And I do wonder, what is your favorite cutting die set for shadow boxes? Please let me know, so if I don't have it, I can try it. And now, as you can see, this die also comes with some lines to fold, super quick and easy, and literally you just fold and burnish with your fingers, or you can use a scoring board if you want to do it. I just use my fingers, super quick and easy, because we can see those score lines. And when this is ready, I really wanted to make sure that that embossed wood is actually at the top. But before I do it, I'm going to actually adhere those frames together, and to be honest, the end and the start are actually the same size, so it is super easy to assemble. I'm going to create more projects like this in the future because I really like this cutting die set from Tonic Studio. It is absolutely quick to use, and now, as you can see, we do have some flaps on one end on every single side, and this is literally you put the glue on the top one and then inside the flaps as well, and that will hold it forever when you use a wet glue. And what's really good about using a wet glue, like in this occasion, you can actually maneuver all those elements and it is super perfect. But if you want, you can also use red liner tape, which is very good adhesive for very quick projects. And the whole card here didn't really take me that long. I think it was an hour with all the coloring and fussy cutting and actually putting the frame together. And to be honest, I really enjoyed it. And I do wonder, have you ever created a project that looks like a photo frame or with some photo elements? Please let me know in the comments down below. And also don't forget to visit MONIKA'S YouTube channel, PaperMona, because her projects are amazing and this collaboration is with her. So if you want to see what she creates, I will also leave the link to her project at the end of the video. Just to make sure that our photos can actually hang, I'm going to use a bit of string from my stash. Super quick, easy, and I'm going to use my red liner tape to adhere it. And also, it's always a good idea to burnish it before we peel off the backing of the red liner tape. And now it is time to press it and cut the excess off. Super quick, easy, and we do have that really nice element and touch to our project. So now I've got my card base, and this one is 7 inches. And don't forget our beautiful background we created. Just to make sure it stands really nicely on my card, I'm going to put a little bit of double-sided tape because we use some water on the background, and if you wanted to have it super straight on your card, I do encourage you to use some double-sided tape because it is going to make it stronger. Super quick tip for you, but I really hope you will use it in your card making. So as you can see, I'm using my one and only liquid glue just to put few drops even on the tape. And yes, now it is the time to actually adhere our frame on the card. And as you can see, I'm only using my liquid glue because, as I said, you do have time to maneuver all your elements, and at this point I thought I really want a little bit more color on the frame, so I used the same Distress Oxide ink I used for the background, and this way we can actually see those wood embossed panels. So this die is absolutely amazing for shadow boxes. And now I found in my stash those 3 pegs, and I thought they would be perfect to actually hang those 3 photos. How often do you use them in your projects? Please let me know. Have you used them to create some photo frames like I did here? Or maybe you use them for something different? I'm really curious, so please let me know. When this is ready, I thought I really like it, but something is missing. And you probably guessed it, we need a sentiment. And to be honest, that happy birthday sentiment in the stamp set, it is so beautiful. And I'm also going to use oval ribbon frame. As you can see, it has some ovals, and that's exactly what I'm going to use for my sentiment. So I'm going to die cut it twice from 300 GSM white stamping card, And I'm also going to use the same ink I had for my background, but I'm not going to add new ink from my pad. I'm literally using what is left over on my ink blending tool. So this way you don't waste any of your supplies. And for the bigger oval, I decided to use the same Distress Oxide ink, the brown one, because I think it really makes the whole project come together really nicely. So now it is time to stamp our sentiment, and I'm going to use the same Archival ink that I used for the leaves, and I think that will make the project even more special. And I do wonder, how often do you use that color palette in your paper crafting projects? Please let me know. And to add a little bit more dimension to my sentiment, I'm going to use 2 layers of double-sided foam adhesive. And it's always a good idea to add a few drops of your liquid glue first, then your foam adhesive, then I added a few more drops of my liquid glue and another layer of double-sided foam adhesive, and it is perfect. And this way we do have some nice dimension, and it is time to create a really nice composition with all the leaves we created earlier. And I do wonder, do you actually prefer fussy cutting all those images, or do you have a cutting machine like Cricut or Scan and Cut? Please let me know in the comments down below. I had to add some gold gems because why not? I love them, and I think they go so well with autumn. And our project is done. There is plenty of space to write your message inside, and I do wonder, what do you think about this shadow box? Thank you so much for watching, and here there is a link to PaperMona. Amazing video, and also my other autumn project. So thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like this video, give the thumbs up, and subscribe to our channels. Bye!